Hello everyone, I am Dr. Rajkumar Sharma, Consultant, Faculty of Political Science, IGNOU, and in this lecture we are going to discuss the Unit 9 to Unit 12 in MGP 002. The name of the course is Philosophy of Gandhi, and the overall discussion that we are going to do in this lecture is on Gandhi's views on civilization. So basically we are going to understand what were Gandhi's views on modern civilization, what was his critique of modern civilization, and also his views on Indian civilization. This is what we are going to discuss in this lecture. If you basically see Gandhi's way of life, you would notice one thing very, very clearly, that Gandhi was one of the very, very simple people, and he belonged to the Indian ascetic tradition. This is very, very well known that he has also been called a saint. Right, so this was his way of life. Simplicity was his way of life. Now, if you see his philosophy, it contained symbols and words that were Eastern in general and Hindu in particular. In the sense, if you see cultural division between Western civilization and the Eastern civilization. So Gandhi was flag bearer of the Eastern civilization, and that too, in particular, he was the flag bearer of the Hindu civilization. Another point is that he used those symbols not only against the British but also against the modern civilization. For example, one of the symbols that he effectively used and mobilized people was khadi. Right. Now Gandhi countered three concepts through his views on civilization. He countered three main concepts, and those concepts were: one was the nationalism. What exactly, I mean, he came out with a detailed critique of aggressive nationalism. This was one. Then the second one was industrialization, right? He was, till now we have discussed in past lectures that he was against mechanization and technology. This was the second point. And third one, of course, was his overall critique of modern civilization, the Western civilization. Now, what was his idea of civilization? If you see, how did he define a civilization? What is meant by a civilization? And he defined the civilization as, this is that mode of conduct which points out to man the path of duty. This is how he defined civilization. Now, he used to basically say that violence is un-Indian. The concept of violence is alien to Indian culture. This is what Gandhi used to say. And if you see, he had also written a book, Hind Swaraj. And now, Hind Swaraj was written by Gandhi to counter anarchist and violence-prone Indian nationalism. Because we discussed in MGP 001, we have discussed that there was a turn towards violence that Indian nationalists had taken. So Gandhi had written this book to counter their narrative. He called the use of violence as suicidal, because it would have provoked the British. If you use violence against the enemy, then it provokes a very hard response. This is why Gandhi said that you are committing suicide, because if you use violence against the British, then they will use their organized state mechanisms, force, and they will further reply you through more violence. Now, Gandhi also depicted this dichotomy between the spiritual and moral superiority of Indian society and the violent, politically corrupt nature of European states. He used to say that Indian civilization is spiritual and it always has enjoyed a moral superiority over the European states or European civilization, which he also used to call modern civilization. Now, he had listed a number of negative features of Western civilization. What were those features? These were the negative features. Gandhi said that, the Western civilization or the modern civilization, this is full of greed. There is a lot of greed. Why? Because this was based on capitalism, and capitalism believes in more and more production and consumption as well. Another was aggression, because these Western countries, they would wage wars, and then they would make the countries in Asia or Latin America or Africa, they would make them their colonies. War technology was another critique, one of the negative features of the Western civilization. Exploitation, because they believed in exploiting the colonies. Also, at the same time, for themselves, they would need luxury and bodily comforts. Materialism. And this was all, these practices were immoral in nature. So these were some of the negative features that were listed by Gandhi on part of the modern civilization. Now, he also at the same time pointed out that India is a unique civilization and it has immeasurable strength. India has so much strength that it cannot even be measured. Right? India has survived many shocks while other civilizations have crumbled. So this was the inherent strength of Indian civilization. Now, one question may rise in your mind, which may be, one may get up and say that if India was that superior to other civilizations, then why were the Europeans able to colonize India? This is a very, very valid question. And when this question came in front of Gandhi, Gandhi said that it is not because the British are stronger, but it is because the Indians have given India to the British. And he had given a number of reasons why this happened. The first one was that Indians gave up their originality and Indians wanted to be rich and prosperous, right? So we also tried to copy the Western civilization. So we were trying to be a poor copy of the Western civilization. So from spiritual superiority, we were trying to move towards material comforts. This was one problem. So you left your own originality and you are trying to be a poor copy of somebody else. This was one. The second one, of course, was that Indians were very, very welcoming of the East India Company, because if you must have read in history that initially the Britishers came as traders in India. So they were welcomed by the Indians because we wanted to have the things from Europe, right? So this was the second reason. And third, of course, was in the internal divisions within India. Our own internal divisions were, the external forces were able to take profit from our internal divisions. So these were the three reasons that Gandhi gave, because of which the British were able to subdue Indian civilization. Now, if you see Gandhi had very, categorically told the Indians that modern civilization is a bane for India. It is not a boon, but it is a bane for India. For example, Gandhi blamed the railways for spreading plague in India because of movement from one place to the other due to the railways. The spread became very easy. Now, another point he said about the railways was that railways were also spreading famines in India, because Gandhi used to say that if a farmer grows a crop, he will not sell in the local market if he is getting a good price, say in a market which is 200 kilometers away. So he will put his produce in the railways, go to the market 200 kilometers away and sell the produce. Like this, in the local area there is a potential for a famine because nobody is selling the produce in the local market. So this was his reason that things are happening this way. Another point is that Gandhi used khadi as a critique of modernity, as we discussed in the very beginning, that Gandhi was one who used to believe in symbols. So he used khadi as a symbol against the British. And there were a number of things that were attached to the symbol. One was, khadi was a symbol of freedom struggle. This was one. Then second was that it was also a symbol of economic regeneration. This was the second point. The third one, of course, was that khadi was also related to promotion of Swadeshi, India's own local products. This was the third point. Then the fourth was, of course, Gandhi urged Indians to spin and weave khadi. This he used to say that you should be supporting the local. And the last one thing was that there was no room for machines to displace human labor and concentrate powers in the hands of a few, because machines were owned by capitalist class and they were the ones who would wield the real power. So if you focus on khadi, so that ways you can limit the power of the capitalist class. He also used education as a critique of modernity or modern civilization. So what did Gandhi do with education? His views were very unique in the sense that his khadi-based approach to life. He felt that Western education did not suit Indian needs. It was alien to Indian needs, because first and the foremost thing was that medium of instruction was foreign language, and this foreign language, it sapped the energy of youths, because the youths were not able to express their originality. So this was one of the main problems, and this is why it destroyed originality, this medium of instruction which was alien to Indians. Another point is that it also created a gulf between the educated elites who were educated in English and the masses who did not know the English language. It may have stimulated the brain, but it always starved the spirit of the individual. And Gandhi also said, in the modern system of education, there is no agricultural training, because at the time, in 1940s, almost A big chunk of Indian economy was based on agriculture, but this education did not focus on agricultural training. This was one of the critiques that was given by Gandhi. Now, at the same time, Gandhi was also against violent nationalism because he called it a curse. He said that for civilized life, there has to be non-violent nationalism, which is a necessary condition. He was also against mechanistic and aggressive nationalism of the West, and in contradiction to the aggressive nationalism of West, Gandhi proposed People's Swaraj. And what was the idea of People's Swaraj? This idea of People's Swaraj, it was based on truth and non-violence. And its symbol was Khadi. And another point is that he gave a moral perspective to national movement with new symbols, as we have discussed earlier. And some of these symbols were Khadi, Ramraj, and Satyagraha. And it should always be pointed out that Gandhi, he had a plan for moral, social, political, and economic regeneration of India. So this is what was the idea he was trying to chase. If you see Gandhi was proud of Indian civilization. He always said that, as we have discussed, he said that India is a great civilization. It has survived many shocks. But what happened is that he was also critical of some of the dogmatic and inhuman practices within Indian civilization. So what were those ideas that Gandhi condemned within Indian civilization? The first, Gandhi's idea of civilization was spiritual and religious. He always said that, I believe in spiritual regeneration of individuals. So this is what his idea of civilization was. And he also argued that religious dogmas are hurdles to religious experience, because as long as these religious dogmas are there, they will not allow an individual to have a true experience of his or her religion. And he also said that religion does not mean sectarianism. His idea of Hinduism is tolerant of other faiths, which always is able to assimilate differences within its fold. Now, Gandhi also condemned child marriage. These were the problems that he condemned. Child marriage was one. Then he also said that discords that take place in the name of religion, they should always be condemned, because such problems were termed by Gandhi as cruelty, and they said they are kind of cruelty as irreligious. He said these are irreligious practices. And as a religious man, Gandhi aimed at perfection and self-realization. So this was his idea of religion. Then coming to untouchability, this was one of the problems that he again condemned. He called untouchability as a plague, and he said that it is a burden of every Hindu to combat untouchability. So this was one. Then he also said at the same time that caste has nothing to do with religion. There is no match between caste and religion. He said it is, what should matter is gun. In Hindi we say gun. So, and in English it means qualities. So qualities of an individual are the real thing that we should be looking for. So qualities matter, not caste. This is what Gandhi said. He also said that Swaraj is unattainable till the time there are two problems in India. One was Hindu-Muslim disunity and another is untouchability. So he connected these problems with attainment of Swaraj. Gandhi also said that no civilized society sanctifies oppression of women. His ideas on women were very, very progressive at that time, and it was due to Gandhi that women came out of their houses and participated in Indian freedom struggle, because he had given that inner strength to women. He also questioned these ill practices like child marriage, sati and dowry, and at the same time he recommended education for women as empowerment. And Gandhi said that men need to emulate women's quiet strength and their resistance to injustice without taking up violence. So Gandhi used to say that you should learn this quality from women, that they suffer a lot but still they do not take up violence, because Gandhi's main focus, his whole philosophy was based on non-violence. So this is how he used to tell men that there is a lot that you can learn from women. Now, Gandhi was also critical of modern institutions. For example, railways, doctors, lawyers. He used to say that these institutions, they have impoverished the country. And how they have impoverished? We have discussed already one point about railways, that railways spread famines and they also bring epidemics to the country. They spread epidemics and famines in the country. This was one critique of railways given by Gandhi. Then another was that legal system. Gandhi said that legal system that has been created by the British, it is to protect their own interests through law. So he used to say that legal system does not exist for safety of the common man or people, but for safeguarding British interests within India. He also used to say that modern medicine takes a very bodily view of health and it ignores health of one's soul. So he was also against modern institution of medicine, and Gandhi was critical of modern knowledge systems of the West, and this is why he stood for indigenous knowledge systems and practices within India. Now, what were the basic foundations of Gandhi's civilization? So first thing we have seen that he criticized the Western civilization, and there were a number of points on which he criticized the Western civilization. What were the negative points? They were, because the Western civilization was materialistic, it was destructive, exploitative, it was violent, and the main point was that it was cut off from its own roots. So this is what the critique of Western civilization was given by Gandhi. Now Gandhi's civilization was based on virtues and dharma. And he said that ethics would replace dogmatic practices. So if child marriage is a problem, it is an ethic problem. So this should not have a place in India. And his philosophy was Lok Sangraha, which means welfare of the whole world. India, through civilizations, we have believed in the philosophy. There is a Sanskrit word. It means and the Sanskrit word is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It means that whole world is a family. And we also believe in this philosophy within India, that everybody is related, and Indians are a big family. So we should be taking care of each other's welfare. So this is what also was the philosophy behind Gandhi's ideas on civilization. And the third point of his civilization, of course, was self-realization. These were the virtues and dharma on which the Indian civilization was based. And Gandhi gave 3 ingredients of a true civilization. And they were, one is truth, second is non-violence, other is simplicity. Simplicity basically flew from Gandhi's personality. We discussed in the very beginning that Gandhi was also called a saint because he believed in minimum consumption. And the last one is synthesis. Gandhi used to say that there should be synthesis between civilization. Don't try to copy each and every point from a civilization. Just pick up the points which are good to you, which you think are good, you can use within your own civilization. So this is what is meant by synthesis. So these were the basic foundations on which Gandhi's civilization was based. And if you see the contemporary relevance of these ideas, then Gandhi stands as a symbol of non-violent protest against colonialism, imperialism, and even authoritarianism. And he gave the alternate model of development through local self-governance. In contrast to possessive and abstract individualism of the West, Gandhi argued in favor of reflexive individualism, and his notion of individual is in social and cultural context. In the times of globalization that we see today, Gandhi's ideas are recalled by social and political movements around the world. And Gandhi's ideas are relevant in the way we relate to our own environment. And we will discuss some of his ideas on environment in next section. So basically Gandhi used to say that there is enough on earth for everybody's need, but not enough for everybody's greed. So this is what I was trying to tell you, that he was very, very simple man, and he only used to consume as much was required, right? So this is the basic philosophy behind his ideas on environment. Now in this lecture, the last section that we discuss is Sarvodaya, the rise of all, his concept of Sarvodaya. Now Gandhi's Sarvodaya, if you see the word, it has 2 words. One is Sarv and another is Udaya. So it means upliftment of all. This is what is meant by the idea of Sarvodaya, welfare of all, service to humanity. Now it is based on the concept of all embracing love, and no individual or group is to be suppressed within the idea of Sarvodaya. Gandhi's philosophy, it has 3 main ingredients. One was mental prosperity, what is called Abhyudaya. Now second is spiritual realization, it is called Nishreyasa. And the third one is Antyodaya, which means benefit should reach to the last individual in the line. So this was the concept of Sarvodaya. And what were the sources of Sarvodaya? There were many sources on which this philosophy of Sarvodaya was based. These were the major religions like Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, etc. Another is religious and philosophical texts. And the third source is writings of great philosophers like Tolstoy, Ruskin, and Thoreau. This we have already done in MGP 001. Now, what are the basic components of Sarvodaya? These basic components of Sarvodaya are Swadeshi, that we will be using our local products. Then the second one is bread, labor, or living wage. The third one is aparigraha or non-possession. Fourth is trusteeship. Trusteeship basically was an idea given by Gandhi, and the meaning of trusteeship is that all the rich who have excess wealth, they will trust that wealth, they will keep as much wealth is required by them as per their need, and rest of the wealth they will use that wealth in form of a trust for welfare of the downtrodden, the people who require money, right? So that was this idea of trusteeship was given by Gandhi. Then another idea was non-exploitation component of Sarvodaya. Then yet another idea which was part of this Sarvodaya was Sambhava, sense of equality. Everybody is equal, there are no divisions anywhere. And if you see Gandhi's philosophy of Sarvodaya, it had these elements of socialism. There was a hint of socialist sentiment. And even if you see, Gandhi had said a number of times that I am a communist, but minus the violence. Because if you see the concept of communism, it talks about violent revolution. But Gandhi said there cannot be, because he was against non-violence. So Gandhi was a communist, but minus violence. Now, Sarvodaya, if you see in practice, Sarvodaya was based on Swadeshi strategy, which is closely linked to economic reconstruction aimed at village-oriented economy. Now, Gandhi tried to achieve it through constructive program. Again, constructive program we have done in MGP 001. And Gandhi was geared towards village reconstruction. Now, in Khadi, he saw revival of entire economic, social, and cultural aspects of villages. And village Sarvodaya stood for sharing resources and means of production for welfare of all. Use local resources to satisfy local demands. This exactly was the idea of Sarvodaya. And if you see Sarvodaya in post-Gandhian phase, then there were a number of movements. One was Bhudan movement, another was Sampurna Kranti. So Gandhian ideas, they have survived despite Gandhi not being in this world. And Sarvodaya supports healthy environment for holistic development as well. Because if you see Gandhian concepts of environmental conservation, sustainability and survival inherent in, this is all inherent in Gandhian ideology. His ideas, his concepts of environmental conservation, sustainability and survival, these are all inherent in these are basic components of Gandhi's ideology. Now, Gandhi's lifestyle was simple. So, simple lifestyle Gandhi practiced and preached is very, very important for keeping our environment healthy, because Gandhi was one who preferred people-centered, need-based economy. Because I have been telling in this lecture that Gandhi was a simple man and he said that use as much is required, right? So this basically was a philosophy which is against the idea of capitalism, because capitalism talks about more and more consumption. Gandhi said there is no need to maximize your consumption. Your need should tell you what is to be consumed and how much is to be consumed. So basis of consumption for Gandhi was need, not greed. Right, so these were the basically ideas of Gandhi on civilization. His idea of civilization was basically moral and which believed in self-realization of the individual. He criticized the Western civilization on a number of points that we have listed already in this lecture. And Gandhi's ideas on civilization are very, very true today because they talk about sustainable development. Thank you.